Right now, there's a little girl giving shots to her stuffed animals. She'll find their imaginary pulse and count how many times their heart beats. She's practicing for the day that she'll be a real grown-up doctor. Fortunately, this little girl's dreams can come true thanks to one brilliantly determined woman, Elizabeth Blackwell. Blackwell was born February 3rd, 1821 in England. Her father was a progressive man and a reformist who greatly influenced his daughter. Samuel moved his family to America in 1831, setting the wheels of history in motion. Elizabeth's first profession was actually teaching. It was after a dear friend confided in Elizabeth that she was dying and too embarrassed to see a male doctor that Elizabeth knew she could take charge and transform the American Medical Society by becoming the first woman to earn her medical degree in the United States. Through my extensive research, I have found that Elizabeth Blackwell was determined in her goal to improve society for everyone. Even though she faced adversity, she persevered and accomplished her goals to enhance the standard of living for her fellow Americans. In this speech, I will explain to you how Elizabeth is a pioneer for women not only in the medical field, but everywhere. First, I will explain the obstacles she faced trying to enter medical school and upon entry. Second, I will discuss the discrimination she faced after becoming a doctor. And third, I will detail the legacy she left in the form of public service. Now, I will start off by telling you how Elizabeth Blackwell began her medical studies. Throughout her life, it was apparent that Elizabeth was a headstrong girl. However, this trait came in handy when she decided to go to medical school in the 1840s. At the time, medical schools did not admit females. Still, she applied to over 24 medical schools in the hopes of pursuing her degree. Still, the only school that accepted Elizabeth was Geneva Medical School in upstate New York. Her admittance was based on the unanimous vote of the 150 male students already attending Geneva. They saw the idea of a woman doctor as a joke and made classes confrontational for the female medical student. Even the townspeople were unpleasant to Elizabeth. They saw her behavior as brash and unfeminine. Her male professors requested that Elizabeth leave the room when they began lecturing on topics they saw unfit for a woman to hear. She held firm and refused to leave. She continued to prove her devotion to her studies by gaining practical experience during the summers in Philadelphia at Blackwell Almshouse. Elizabeth was met with discrimination there too by her co-workers and the male patients who did not want her to examine them. Nevertheless, she persevered. Through her hard work, she became a pioneer in treating typhus. In 1849, Elizabeth graduated from Geneva Medical College at the top of her class, making her the first woman to receive her medical degree in the United States. Elizabeth's determination to practice medicine was displayed once again after she began searching for a job in America. After facing similar rejection, she traveled to Paris where she hoped she would be met with more progressive minds. Unfortunately, Elizabeth found a brick wall in France too. She eventually found work as an intern at a state-run maternity ward, La Maternity. While this may have not been the work she envisioned, she took this as a challenge and became a skilled obstetrician. Elizabeth faced more hardships after she caught an eye infection from a baby in her care. The infection caused her to lose sight in her left eye and destroyed her dream of becoming a surgeon. Despite this, Elizabeth carried on with her work at a hospital in London, and her strength of character enabled her to overcome adversity. With valuable life experiences under her belt, Elizabeth returned to the U.S. with one goal in mind: to start her own medical practice. This would not be easy, but Elizabeth would not let this stop her. Finding a building to rent proved to be an unmovable obstacle for the female position. Faced with another series of rejections, Elizabeth kept looking for a place to set up her own practice while publishing a series of lectures on hygiene. Once again, her determination would make her a trailblazer when she successfully opened her own clinic for the poor in 1853. In 1857, her dispensary became the New York Infirmary for Women and Children. It was the first hospital organized and run by women, as Elizabeth was joined by 2 other female doctors. One of those doctors was Elizabeth's younger sister, Emily, who decided to follow in her big sister's footsteps. Emily was not the last young woman she would influence to enter the medical field. Through her resilience and determination, Elizabeth encouraged young girls and women in the United States and England to chase their dreams all the way to the operating room. In conclusion, I have discussed how Elizabeth shattered the glass ceiling for women who felt the call to help others. She was a brilliant, determined, passionate woman who devoted her life to caring for others. I believe that Elizabeth summed up her life best when she said, It is not easy to be a pioneer, but oh, it is fascinating. I would not trade one moment, even the worst moment, for all the riches in the world.